Welcome to Aquasol, everybody. We've got an election coming up here just in a few days on Monday, April 17th, and I wanted to talk to you about that. But we also want to talk about some of the financial issues here at Aquasol that relate to that election. My name is Mark Perry, and I'm a retired bank president. I'm a resident here at Aquasol, and I've been involved with a 7-member group that was kind of selected to help to represent a big group of owners who are concerned about what's happening here, and in particular going back to the February 8th letter that we got from the board. I think everybody was surprised or really shocked at what was in that letter. So we want to talk about that. The letter, the February 8th letter I'm referring to, was referencing our 50-year recertification plans, renovation, construction plans, and getting this building up to code, if you will, plus a lot more money in construction and renovation work, which was news to everybody. So I think the first thing people thought was, why are we hearing about this now? We've got $1,865,000 in past due, currently due and past due bills that we were told in this February 8th letter. And then we also find out that if we don't agree to what's in the letter and allow the board to sign on to a $10 million loan, that individually we're going to have to all come up with anywhere from about $6,500 to $9,500, cut a check in March and pay these current due and past due bills. So people were totally perplexed by that, no communication from the board, and so our 7-member group was, our charge was to try to see if we could glean information from the board to help pass along an understanding to the greater group of owners that were concerned as to exactly why this is happening. You know, do we have to agree to the board's plan? Is there an alternative? And so that's what we set out to do. It hasn't been easy. We've oftentimes were met with resistance from the board. They weren't always giving us information we asked for. I think people who have been on the WhatsApp group chat thread understand that, along with the email group that Victor Mendez and Ellen Robillard had set up. So I wanted to go in a little bit more detail and background to all of this, especially the financing. Okay, so before I dig too much into that, I wanted to make sure that people had a chance to, if you haven't watched Anna's video that we got out this past Monday night, I'm recording this Thursday. I would encourage you to, it's about five and a half minutes long. I'd encourage you to watch that. It's I think the sentiments in there are very indicative of what most of the owners, many of the owners in Aquasol were feeling when they saw that that February 8th letter. It's a good read. Okay, well, what's clear in Anna's message is that the current board's directed management of Aquasol has been severely lacking. Lack of communication. Seems like there's not a whole lot of financial responsibility. People are beginning to question whether we can even trust this board. And those sorts of feelings came on pretty strongly once that February 8th letter was disseminated to all of us. We need to, because of the past due bills and kind of gun to the head message, sign here or else, we wanted to help clarify some of the issues going forward that we really need to focus on. One of which was we need to have a system firmly in place that assures contractors and their subcontractors working on the Aquasol building that they're going to get paid in a timely manner. We don't want any contractor liens placed on this building, and the only way to ensure that you don't have those is to make sure these guys get paid. Guys and gals get paid with progress payments on time as their work is completed. That's a must. Okay, today's April Thursday. It was Thursday, just a few days before the election. Last night we had a meet and greet down in the TV room, and it was revealed then that there was a third bank commitment letter issued to Aquasol and the board. And in it, the only option in there, after the first two were kind of bouncing around in different options, the only option in there is a 15-year amortizing $10 million loan. That's the total dollars that we're looking at here. But $1,865,000 is due right now, and more is going to be due in a month or two, pretty soon. And so the way that loan is, $10 million loan is structured is kind of in two pieces. The first 2 years, 24 months, is an interest-only construction line of credit. The only obligation to Aquasol would be monthly interest payments on an increasing loan balance as bills get paid. Contractors bill us, and then we pay those what's owed to the contractors, and we draw on the bank line to make the payments to the contractors, and then our loan balance builds. And then at the end of 2 years, they're assuming that construction's done, and then they're going to convert that line of credit into a full principal and interest term out loan or installment loan. Problem is, we're going to need 3.5 years for construction. So what happens at the end of 2 years when construction's like maybe halfway done and the bank wants to term out a $10 million line? Well, what's going to happen, and we confirmed this last night, is that the bank is going to advance whatever hasn't been used, and we think it's going to be like $5 million of the 10. That in 2 years we think we'll be halfway through the $10 million, thereabouts, and they're just going to dump the remaining $5 million into an Aquasol account. And last night we were told that that is going to earn about 1/4%. In the banking industry, we call that 25 basis points, but it's 1/4%, 0.025. But the loan is going to, and at that point, month 25 is going to be a $10 million loan paying 6.05% interest. The interest rate since the last commitment letter is kind of bumped up a little bit, which in and of itself is not really very problematic. It doesn't cost us that much more to have this construction loan feature. But the problem is now we've got $5 million in basically almost a non-interest bearing checking account doing us no good. We can't use it. We haven't been billed by the contractors for it. So we're paying out on a $10 million loan, full principal and interest payments. It's approximately $50,000 in interest each month at that point on $10 million. But we've only used $5 million, and we can't use the remaining $5 million. We'll use it slowly over the next year and a half. So we're paying on 10, but we're only using 5 today, and then we might have, then we might go to $5.5 million, and then 6, and 6.5, and 7 over the course of a year and a half, getting up to $10 million. You can see how that is working against us. That's ridiculous. We need 3.5 years, and you have to have a discussion with the bank about that and negotiate to get it. That should have been done months ago. I've never seen a construction loan structured this way. I told you I'm a retired bank president. I've been in the